Welcome to the My Favorite CPA podcast. And this is our unofficial soft kickoff now that we have everything all dialed in. We do have the official My Favorite CPA puppy in the house. Karma, come on, up to bed. Go to bed. Can you lay down? Good girl. Good girl. I think she got her second puppy popsicle, that little rascal. So, who am I? I am CPA Dan Hodges. I've been a certified public accountant since, well, I've been in the CPA world anyway, since 1996. I've devoted my whole career to working with family-owned businesses. Now, family-owned, in my mind, what I'm trying to convey to you is I work with business owners that they're an owner in a business, and there might be a co-owner with maybe a family member or a couple family members. Typically, I work with people that have less than 10 owners in their operation. So my practice is not for companies that have hundreds of owners or that's publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, nothing like that. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background. So you know that I've been a CPA in the CPA world for about 27 years. And so I'm just enough to experience that I know what I'm doing. Things have constantly changed in my field, from accounting rules to tax laws. I'm an expert in both those things for the family-owned business. And by the way, when I say family-owned, I did want to walk back to that for a minute. Just because a company is family-owned doesn't mean that they're just making $20 a year. Throughout my practice, throughout my career, I have dealt with many business owners that bring in millions of dollars of sales or tens of $1,000,000 of sales. And in addition, I've worked with people that are startups. And that kind of leads me into kind of a good talking point for today. That is about, let's say that you were getting started in business. You could be starting a business from scratch. You have an idea and you'd like to go into business. You also maybe could have been in a trade or a profession. I've helped many people over the years where they are starting a new company, them with their partners. They worked in another business in the trades, and that company went belly up. So the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, they said, why would we go work for someone else? We can just keep working together, but we'll be all owners together. And so throughout my career, I've helped a lot of people get their business off the ground, and I've helped them make smart decisions. That's one of the reasons, by the way, that I founded My Favorite CPA and my website, which is myfavoritecpa.com. In that regard, I have a training course which is designed for people getting into business. You could be just new to business completely, or you could be taking that next step into ownership. My training course is all about making smart decisions, having knowledge in the professional, from a professional in the tax world. My training course, I used to give live, and I recorded it and put it up in the cloud so I could expose myself to more people who need the knowledge. One thing that I've seen over the years is people starting up a company, and they will go out and they will set up an LLC. Often do it yourself. It's very dangerous. They have no clue why they're setting up an LLC. They have no clue what they're going to do with the LLC. They have no idea what the benefits are. And very personal to me, they have absolutely no clue what the tax options are. Now, I want to be clear about one thing. When you form a business, you may have a moment in time where you can make a proactive decision and tell IRS how you would like to be taxed. Absent a decision from you, the IRS will make a decision for you, and you are stuck with the consequences. So this is a little bit about why I started my training course. I used to give this live to groups, and I got a lot of very positive feedback because, I worked very hard here in my video material to come off like a regular guy. I'm not very braggy. I don't have a big ego, but as I was saying before, I do have the technical background. I know what I'm doing. I've worked with many, many successful business owners to not only start up their business, to get it in place and get it working right and growing it. And I've helped business owners transition, retire, on to the next thing, sell off their business, bring in the new owners, that kind of stuff. I've done all of that throughout my career. Cradle to grave, professional work and advice for my clientele. So in my training course, I have taken some knowledge that's very deep and technical and difficult to understand, and I've compressed it to something that you can watch in a short time commitment, a few hours. In fact, since it's in the cloud, you can watch a chapter today, a chapter tomorrow, a chapter the next day, a chapter the next day, and by the end of the week, you can have all the knowledge about the different ways that you could be taxed. And then, with that knowledge, you will know the who, what, when, how, why, where, about what's going to be appropriate for you, and what the effects would be, and also the economics of it. So all this fits together. That's why I designed my training course. And then my podcast here is just to talk about topics that might be interesting to you, my fans and my listeners, and also to talk about things that are in the news. I have a few series, including, if you've seen me on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, you know that I have a couple series. Number one is called Tax Myths and Urban Legends. Tax Myths and Urban Legends is about the situation where a friend of yours says, well, you know what you should do? You should do this. Now, they have a little bit of knowledge, but what they're passing on to you might have a hint of truth, but is probably like 90% wrong. As tax professionals and professional accountants, we see this all the time. And attorneys see it too. Another series that I have in my TikTok videos and in my YouTube Shorts would be fraud in order. So what we do in those is we talk about typically a crime that we read about in the news, usually a financial crime, and how the dirty culprits, what did they call it on court shows? The accused, how the accused have covered up their crime. And we just expose that so you can have a little bit of knowledge that this stuff happens. It's rampant. There's a lot of financial crimes in small business. I'm going to also tell you too, just as a sideline, that financial crimes are rampant in the not-for-profit world. They are rampant. It is all over the place. Open up the newspaper. You're gonna be surprised how often that you see this, if anyone reads the paper anymore. Or open your Google News or your YouTube News or whatever it is, and you'll see it there. So that's some of the series I have. There's more series on deck coming soon. That's a little bit about what we're talking about here in the podcast here. And I guess the last thing that I have to say today is, if there's something that you would like to hear about, if there's a topic you're interested in, send me a DM or drop it in the comments, and I'd love to add it into a future conversation and see if I can, talk about things that you, as a business owner, self-employed person, or investor, are interested in. At the end of the day, I want to bring you quality content that's geared for your family-owned business owner, and definitely with a tax advisor expert, a tax expert advisor slant and perspective to help you from the lens that I see things through.